We want you to see this little clip of the Republican senator from Utah, the senior senator from Utah. Yes. Orrin Hatch has written a Hanukkah song. Not probably common for many Mormons out there in Utah to write a Hanukkah song, but he's written a Hanukkah song. He's a very famous song lyricist.
Oh, absolutely.
These days. Yeah.
The Senate's
and he even gave singing a little bit of a shot there, too. Take a look.
Hey! 8 days of Hanukkah. Come, let's celebrate. Come, let's celebrate tonight. Hey! La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hey!
Senator Orrin Hatch. Just can't beat it, can you?
You cannot. It doesn't quite have the thing on As Eagles Soar, I believe it's his big hit.
No.
It's a little catchier than that.
Wasn't that John Ashcroft?
That's right.
Anna Marie Cox, national correspondent with Air America. Thanks for joining us. So I guess we didn't quite get an answer out of Michelle Bachmann on that, but I think we can kind of figure it out.
No, I'm actually not sure if we can. I was really interested that you asked her about, is it true to say that all he's done is take America apart, which actually, you're right, she seemed to sort of tacitly agree with that. Whether or not our president has been subconsciously programmed is something I would have also liked to get her opinion on, if she's with John Boyd on that as well.
Let's take a look at this healthcare deal that got announced last night that, of course, we know nothing about.
Wait, do you have a copy?
I've got it right here.
That would be breaking news.
But we've talked about this for months now on the show. You've talked about sort of where the liberals are on this public option, and it was sort of a red line for them to a big degree. It now looks like it is not part of this arrangement. Is this Medicare buy-in a fair sort of alternative? Do you think that liberals who've been public option or bust are going to buy into that?
Is it a fair is it a fair trade? Is it a fair compromise? I don't know. I think it's probably. I think you're going to see most liberals toe the line on this. I mean, it's hard not to. I think that was always a dotted red line that they were going to that they were talking about with the public option. I think, and I also think that big picture. In the New Yorker this week, there's a piece by Atul Gawande, I believe, talking about sort of drawing an unusual or remarkable parallel between agricultural reform and health reform. And something that he pointed out in the lesson, I bet, that we're going to hear from people, if we haven't already, is that the way the government got involved in agriculture was piecemeal, step by step, here and there, and it wound up working basically okay. That might be what happens with healthcare reform, too. We've always thought of it, and the president himself has sort of pitched it as a big picture, once-in-a-lifetime chance. Maybe it just isn't that. Maybe we just keep hammering at it.
Well, it was interesting. Anthony Weiner is out with a statement just a short while ago. He was one of the liberals in the House who was absolutely adamant on the public option, praising one aspect of this deal, which is the expansion of Medicare. I mean, this has been a dream for
right. Well,
talk about the camel's nose under the tent.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's true. A friend of mine, when the Republicans were complaining about how long the bill is, pointed out that you could say expand Medicare to cover every citizen on a note card, and that would make a lot of liberals happy. I think that is something that makes a lot of liberals happy. I think that when you see people get single-payer care and that it works, and when you have the Democrats expanding it over opposition from the Republicans, I don't know if that's going to be what happens. I hope that you see a vision for it just continuing to expand it that way.
I would imagine we will still see opposition from the Republicans. The Oslo speech, what is the president? He's getting on a plane tonight with the First Lady, heading overseas overnight. What does he need to do when he gets to Oslo and sort of accepts this peace prize that he's already said he doesn't really deserve?
Well, I would hope that it's a short speech. I think that if he spends a lot of time on this speech, I don't think there's any way that he can make it not about himself. No matter how much he talks about other people, it's him in the limelight. And I hope also that he uses it as a jumping off point to talk about what he might do to earn it, as they say. And it's certainly, looking at Afghanistan, he is in no way giving us a picture of peace in the near future, no matter what the drawdown is or not. I don't know if he's going to have to talk in generalities about that, or in generalities about a new definition of peace. We got a new definition of defeat from McChrystal's testimony the other day, so maybe we'll get a new definition of peace.
Well, and the indications are that he's going to take head-on this notion of accepting a peace prize right after announcing a massive escalation of a war. I mean, he's going to have to kind of deal with that contradiction.
He is, better writers than he have tried and failed at that. So I really am interested to see what he does. I think he's in a little bit of an impossible position. I think if I were him, I would get in and get out. But that's what we were going to do in Iraq, too. So, so I guess it didn't work so well.
And Jonathan mentioned this at the top of the show, these plummeting poll numbers, and we're now seeing Quinnipiac out with 46% support. Michelle Bachmann has her own theory about why these polls are low. What is your take on where he is right now? And is he sort of on a downward trend? Has not bottomed out?
It's tough to say. I mean, he's in an impossible position, and every time he goes in the public eye, it's a chance for him to bump those numbers up. But in a place like at this Peace Prize ceremony, that's a chance for him to bump those numbers up. But it's such an awkward place to be.
Right.
I don't see how he can do it. I don't want to say we've seen the bottom yet, because things are still so tough. People in their everyday lives are still really struggling, and he has not been able to articulate a way of reaching out to those people that really resonates.
As Rick Klein noted yesterday, he did start biting his lip at the Brookings speech, so perhaps he's moving on his way to that.
When he starts doing the thumb.
Orrin Hatch, America Radio, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. John, thank you very much for coming.
All right, great to be on Top Line. Rick, hopefully be back and well tomorrow.
Follow us, twitter.com/thenote. See you tomorrow.